So now I would like to introduce to you all officially Toni, my dear friend, Toni
Liljengren.
Liljengren. It's like you can say that word is very powerful. It's so Toni, thank you so much for being the one to offer some process today and center around this idea of self-independence. I will now mute myself so you can take over.
Thank you, Doreen. Thank you, Doug. That was beautiful. So I'm going to be doing a guided process of discovering the power of self-independence. This is something that is done quite often nowadays when they have group world meditations where we can all become one in collective consciousness. But I'm going to start out on a journey. First of all, I'm going to take you back, way back to the past. And then I'm going to take you forward, future, way into the future. And in the middle, we're going to stop and visit where we're at today, 2020, 4th of July, and where we're at now. So hold on to your seats. We're going to get started. And just because Doug had Native American in there, I am going to also include Hawaiian energies, calling on the culture of the Hawaiians with a little prayer and a little chant, just so we can settle into the knowing that we're all going the right place. So I would just say mahalo keakua, because mahalo means thank you. Keakua is referring to the ancestors, and it's the ancestors that will be speaking with me, through me, here to guide you into the self-sovereign meditation. So mahalo keakua. Mahalo keakua, mahalo keakua. Apule kako, a loving prayer for this beautiful heart and soul gathering to come together to find and reach a place of self-sovereignty, even in the midst of the turmoil today. And I would call out, now I was with Doug's dear friend, True, when I sang Ahomai, and we went into the heiau at Polahali so that True could bring the ashes of her dearly beloved best friend and release them at the portal. So we marched into the heiau and the bushes and the woods, and we were the only ones there. And then, well, of course, True's friends were there and me. And then I sang Ehomai. And when we were done, we looked all around us, and there was dozens of goats with their ears perked up, and they came right up to us and said, "What are you doing? Who's here?" So with that remembrance, I sang Ehomai. And if we could all just collectively together right now, just take a breath, just take a minute, just breathe, just connect with all the different states that we're in and places we're in and houses we're in and bedrooms we're in. If we could just take a nice deep breath of coming into balance, coming into being grounded. And we're going to be grounding in that meditation we're doing next. Ehomai, Ehomai. Ehomai, homai, hoikimai, olunamai. Ehomai, me no iau, heart and soul today. Ehomai, 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 homai, hoikimai, olunamai. Ehomai, may we know self-sovereignty. May Ehomai, Ehomai, Ehomai. I invite the ancestors, the kahunas, the A-team. The A-team is every angel that's ever been on my team. Some of them are sitting right next to me in the next bedroom. Some of them are in heaven already. And they're all with me, supporting me. So when I call on the A-team, man, there's a long list of support that I get when I do what I do. So I'm going to go back to what the old ancestors had taught me when I used to sit and listen to the kahunas as we sat around the fire at night and sat in the steam huts during the day, they would tell me of a time long before me when there was a continental configuration called Mu. And I was not understanding what Mu was, but I felt like it would have been similar to this movie Avatar, where there was sort of people, you know, in Avatar they were blue people, and they lived completely in harmony with nature and one with all in the universe. And as every indigenous tribe, they were just in balance with life and nature. But somehow, somewhere, somebody went off on them and they got out of balance, and boom, there was a whole complete polar shift. The continents that went under and new ones rose, and all of a sudden we were in the next time of being, which was in the time of Atlantis. Or was it Lemuria? Let me think about this now. Which one came next, Rain? Let's just say that it was Lemuria. Okay, so then there's the land of Lemuria is rising in the configuration, and they're wonderful, and they're living in balance and harmony with nature. And they then got into the power of the crystals, which could lead you to the powers like computers. And things got a little bit out of balance again. And the power took over the people living in harmony, and poof, goes a polar shift. Configuration goes over, they go down mostly underwater, except for the island of Kauai and a number of other places. There's a lot of Lemuria that's still above, but definitely Kauai's island is one point of the old Lemuria. So then came up the continent where you could see Atlantis. Now Atlantis, they still knew from these other guys about the power of the crystals. They were real quick to get to technology and building and using the earth outside of balance. And so that whole culture went under. And up came the configuration that we have today. That's United States as this country that's here above water. And it's a wonderful time. And we've been here for a long time. And we've been getting a little bit out of balance. I know back in 1776, there were some very important people who got together and wrote about a constitution. And they wanted to set forth so that if any time in the future, they had already set some things in place. I'm going to read one little paragraph that's reading. So this says, you know, now there are constitutional attorneys that have assured us that the fundamental rights listed in the Constitution, such as freedom of speech, freedom of press, free to exercise religion, cannot be stifled during public emergencies. Our state and local governments have inherent police powers that give them great latitude in their efforts to protect public health. But it doesn't mean our governor or mayors can infringe upon our basic intrinsic rights. The U.S. Constitution, after all, was created during a time of national turmoil. Its framers held that certain rights were so important that they needed to protect at all times. The founders weren't just thinking about war or foreign threats, they wrote about liberty. They were also familiar at that time with public health threats like smallpox epidemics that had occurred during the years of the American Revolutionary War. With such threats in mind, they crafted a document that was intended to see us through good times and bad, for better or for worse, for more than 2 centuries. The American Constitution has protected our liberties. True, there were times of regret during the course of our history, but it remains the most noble experiment in human freedom ever. So just touching into where we're at with, 1776 Constitution, let's protect our rights. And it also says in there that if we feel that the government is no longer protecting our rights, that we the people should take over the government. So if any of this that I'm saying to you now here stimulates you, just be aware that that's your own judgment. And you might even want to mark it down, because when we get into our meditation later, you'll be at a place where you can clear that judgment. So when we want to get to the higher states of consciousness, the only thing holding us from being there is our own judgments. So even though what I'm about to say is talking about today and the times we're in today with 2020, 4th of July, where are our constitutional freedoms? I don't know. I can't find them. Something got really messed up here. And you all know what I'm talking about. I could spend a lot of talking here. You know, if you even ask me about wearing a mask, I'm like, that's terrible. This pandemic, awful, and the vaccines, and we've polluted the water and the earth and the air. And where are we at in time in relation to Mu and Lemuria? I can tell you what the kahunas have told me for many years. Our pendulum has already swung up to the 3 o'clock position. We are in the final hour. We are going through transition right now of the birth to the new world. And when I say our pendulum has swung to 3 o'clock, I know when it was swinging up towards that, the kahunas told me, don't worry, we're going to make it this time. So here we are in 2020, looking at what's really going on with, you know, they want to forcibly vaccinate us now, and they want to do this, and they want to lock us up and for sure put me in a FEMA camp and throw away the key. I have better ideas. You know, Barbara knows I've been an activist all my life and out there protesting just about every week, standing with fighting for our freedoms. But that's not, you know, the only way that I work on this. I'm a part of all the group meditations, also working on collective consciousness to change and swing us into the new day. So we're real lucky here in Kauai. You know, I got to be at a party with hundreds of people yesterday, all kissing and hugging, and nobody had a mask. Well, one man did, but he finally took it off after I had a long talk with him. But we're also real lucky because we got to have Doreen here. She came here to this island to help us, and she was so quiet and shy, and she sang very quietly and shyly at our church, and she came as a practitioner in training, but she's going to be a big practitioner one day when she grew up. And now it's so nice that she's leaving now, and she is the teacher. She is the leader. She's no longer seeking from outside of herself for permission from some society of the Church of Religious Science to give her her title. She is the one leading this group now. She is the one healing us. She is a powerful healer. She's gathering all of us together in creative consciousness, collective consciousness, to be part of this group where we can support her in her prayers of creating this wonderful new earth. Right, just the other day, she helped me when I was really having a hard time. I was stuck on an issue and in tears about it. And she came walking in my house right at that minute, and she straightened it out, and she prayed about it, and she took my phone and she texted it, and she created it with so, and the whole issue cleared up with a matter of minutes. I got a text from my daughter who apologized to me and said everything's okay, and the whole issue was gone. So we're so lucky that we have Doreen here, and that we'll still have her on Heart and Soul every Sunday, or at least an hour, because she is a very conscious creator. She's helping all of us right now. You don't even know what she's doing to help you. But she's putting us all in place to be with her on this journey to create a more sustainable place and world that's filled with love. So as she leaves, we wish her the best, knowing that she'll be guided by spirals on her journey, and she'll go home with all the lessons and the love of Hawaii. So now that I cried, we are going to do a little meditation. My goal with this meditation at first is just to get grounded so that we can come to a place of a little more higher consciousness. And then I'm going to read you a little paragraph about shifting that constitutional Hippocratic oath into a Lovocratic oath. Just to keep our thinking shifting towards collective consciousness, and in this group, how we can do this. And then we can also, in the last couple minutes, I'll unmute you all, and we can all add to what we would like to see in the future. So I got to bitch about the past and the present a little bit, and now we're going to be guided to see the future as we really want to see it as a collective group that Doreen is leading. And we could even make that, if Doreen wanted to, into more of a mission statement of where you want to go with this group. What are we doing here? Are we just having good times? I think not. I think she has another plan for us underneath. So, meditation first. Get comfortable, relax, close your eyes if you like. I like my eyes half closed when I meditate. Take another deep breath and get grounded. So we're going to use your breath to very exaggeratedly, fully exhale as best you can. And each time you take a breath, take a little bit deeper exhale. Inhaling in, exhaling out all that no longer serves with grace and ease and love. Inhaling into the inner sanctum, exhaling out to infinite space. Relax your breath, relax your body, relax and let go. And use your most childlike imagination now to pretend you could see your breath, as if it looks like you have a golden grounding cord. And as you exhale, each breath goes down to the floor and the rugs, the floor in the basement, and the floor like outside into the grass and the granite and the gravel. And as you continue to each exhale, see your breath going all the way down through several layers of the planet and into the core of the earth. And there you better anchor on, tie that rope onto something. Maybe there's a big hematite rock down there, but you just want to connect to the center of this earth. And maybe that hematite rock where we just connected had roots growing out from it that grow into many of the caves and caverns and levels in this earth. And I can see some of them. They're the same as the earth elements. They're the same as the body's chakras. There's the element in the cave of red fire. There's a root growing out to a cave that has gold in it. There's a root, that's the earthen energy in the gold. There's a root that's growing out into a quartz crystal cave that's as big. The crystals in there are so big, they're as big as buildings. Big white crystals. They're the generator for the starship Earth. And throw out another breath that goes right into the green chlorophyll, money jungle that's just filled with fresh breath and air. There's another root growing out from that big hematite rock that's going into the water. To get in the water, you'd have to go down a slippery slide and splash down into the water where you could swim around underwater without even using your breath. You just get to play underwater and you can breathe. There's lots of blue diamonds in there and blue water, and it represents all the liquids in our system. So if you connect to all those earth elements of earth, wind, fire, water, air, you can now breathe it back up your grounding cord into your body, filling up your whole entire body with rainbow colors of light, tuning into that earth energy. As it comes up, it fills every single cell in your whole being until you're so full it starts to permeate your being out into your aura, spouts out the top of your head and showers down around you. Some of those spouts out the top of your head go straight up into outer space. So let's let that just connect to the earth and its atmosphere, your breath going up to outer space, your breath going up to maybe our whole solar system, out past Pluto. Another breath can go out towards the whole universe. Another breath could go out all across the galaxies. And remember, when you're out there in the galaxies, being one with all that is, that you remember that we are one in collective consciousness. That we all are humans here together, celebrating this Earth 4th of July weekend. That we can connect with each other from that place. One collective consciousness. And yet, a self-independent person. How do you do that? I don't know, but Doreen knows how to do it. When she does prayers for you, they're answered. So breathing into the collective consciousness and being one with all it is. Remember when you even thought of coming here to Earth? Yes, I think I'll incarnate now and I'll become Toni. And from this place, I could just go through life with judgments and condemnation, or I could come in healing the planet and reminding people who we really are and that we can change this consciousness from what Toni discussed that July 4th of 2020 is to what we want it to be. And when we do it at that level, from the collective consciousness, that's where we really see a change. I don't really see much of a change when I'm out protesting on the streets with my signs of freedom, but I feel the immediate results of it when I do a collective consciousness meditation. And they're offered on the internet all the time. And you just look, Deepak Chopra and everybody, Michael Beckwith, they're all doing worldwide meditations. They can even record it in the rhythms on Earth. It really does make a difference. And right now we need to make a difference. As the pendulum swings to 3 o'clock, even though I have already been told that it's going to swing back into balance, what if it just flew off course and we were ejected into outer space? And well, so we're going to think about now, what is it that we want to create from a collective consciousness place? Do we want to create the dichotomy that's being fed to us? Just judge this, don't like this, judge that, don't like that. Be Republican, no, be Democrat, no, be, you know what, we got to forget about all that for a while and just be who we really are. Love ourselves and look at the new consciousness, a new way, a new world. And instead of the Hippocratic oath, I'm just going to read to you a real simple, nice Lovocratic oath before we come into creating what we want for this planet now. In the Lovocratic oath, we, as one race, the divine human race, do commit to one singular cause of action for the greater good of all and to the mutual support and benefit of the individual as to life itself, to be governed by the principles of justice and balance, as exemplified by the characteristics, expressions of love and fear, that our children would be taught the truths of the sciences that are visible and implicated by the natural laws of life and principles of nature and of the spirit, in contrast to the laws of man. That we, as a global community, focus on a single purpose, the prosperity and unity of all, in a spirit of equality, equity, and fairness. As one tribe, we, the collective consciousness, the tribe of people, one species of divine human beings and co-inhabitants of this earth, we do pledge that our creative choices will be in allegiance to the divine laws of love and to the prosperity of all. So now I want you to come right back into your bodies of your individual self with your feet on the ground, knowing that we are the 18 and that we are the collective consciousness and we are creating for Kauai, for the earth, for the universe. And I wonder, what would that look like for you?